The beat.
Good times. Welcome to Geeks and Gaijins. We have all the good times. I'm the Gaijin John.
I'm the Geek Tom.
How are your good times treating you, Tom?
This is only the best times, obviously. That's definitely just a consistent thrill ride every single day.
We just got to keep looking ahead, and what will be, will be. That's the Japanese attitude.
I thought que sera was French.
No, in Japan, it's shogunai, which is the phrase that means can't be helped. And basically, it is one of an examples of really bad culture that people are trying to combat of shogunai of, oh, we can't change anything. Oh, what we gonna do? Shogunai.
Nationalized apathy. I love it. Love to see it.
Yeah, welcome to Japan, where apathy is a national sport.
Oh, man, I would love to compete in those Olympics.
That you see,
I've already lost, damn it!
Yeah, you've lost because you wanted to do it. Oh, by the way, listeners, you all lost the game.
Why would you do this?
Because I love to spread pain and despair.
That's such an early 2000s move you've just pulled, though. God.
I'm nothing if not an early 2000s move. And so, welcome. If you've not listened to the podcast before, I'm John. I live in Japan, and this is the podcast where we talk about Japanese shenanigans.
And make our own shenanigans in the meantime, when Japan is not forthcoming with the shenanigans.
Yes, and currently, Japan more has depressing shenanigans, so we're not going to talk about that.
What? A country in the world at the moment has depressing shenanigans going on? That doesn't sound right.
I know, so instead we're going to talk about bicycles.
Oh, yeah!
Bicycles. Or in Japanese, jitensha, which means bicycle. Though it uses the kanji for car in it, though, which is quite fun.
Yeah. How on earth does the word for car originate in the Japanese lexicon before the word for bike? I mean, it's not completely beyond the realm of possibility that a country doesn't discover how to make two wheels go without an engine. But it seems unlikely.
Well, sorry, the kanji for car is just the kanji for vehicle. But it mostly means car now.
So it's just that sort of thing that's changed with time.
The kanji for jitensha, as in the Chinese script, comes from Meiji, Japan. It apparently is specifically a form of tricycle.
Which isn't a car or a bike.
The kanji are self-rolling vehicle. Kanji are very weirdly logical.
Fair enough.
It's like the kanji to indicate a man is a rice field above the kanji for power.
Uh-huh.
I am a man, I shall lift the rice and harvest the rice. Well, the kanji for mountain literally just looks like a mountain. And there's ones for trees and stuff where it's like, what did you do? I just drew something that looked like a tree. And do you know what the kanji for forest is, Thomas?
Lots of the kanji for tree.
Yeah, it's 3 of the kanji for tree put together.
Nice.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, it just doesn't help that there's bloody thousands of the things.
Of trees or the kanji?
Both!
Ah, fair enough.
But speaking of bicycles...
Yes, that was the topic we were going to discuss today.
Probably. Who knows?
We certainly don't.
Shogunai. I bought a bicycle, and I have been commuting to work with my bicycle and being terrified of Japanese teenagers. But that's my usual life regardless.
Yeah, the teenagers are scary regardless of whether you're on the bicycle or not. But whilst you're on the bike, you can get away from the Japanese teenagers at much faster speeds. So,
except when they're rolling directly at you. The thing with cycling in Japan, it is both stricter and not as strict as everywhere else I've lived. It's very, very strange.
I think you're going to have to explain that. That doesn't make an awful lot of sense just on the face of it.
In one way that it's really not super strict is mostly in terms of safety. Essentially, junior high schoolers have to wear a helmet, but no one else has to wear a helmet at all.
So what's the cutoff age for that again?
It's 13, or some schools force you to. But yes, children under 13 must always wear helmets when riding a bicycle, and they are like proper Bob the Builder helmets. They are. They are not flattering. Let us just say this.
I bet it's adorable though.
Oh, for the little kids, yeah, it is. But like, have you seen a grumpy 13-year-old being forced to wear like a very cute Japanese school uniform and a Bob the Builder hat? They look like they will murder you.
I bet that's kind of adorable as well in its own way.
No, I do see when I'm cycling, like the new kids who've just started junior high school, the older kids in like the junior high school and the elementary school walk the smaller ones home. And it's so cute. You have like 9 and 10-year-olds walking home like the 6-year-olds. And it's so cute. But anyway, bicycles. Because people think, wearing helmets is child's thing. You don't. They go, haha, I'm not a child anymore. I don't have to wear a helmet. And you'll go, okay, it's still a good thing to wear. Nope, no helmet for me. And you, oh dear. So like whenever I wear a helmet, because one, I'm a teacher, so I'm setting a good example.
As you do.
Yeah, but also like I'm not that confident on a bicycle. But also some of these Japanese teenagers don't seem to be either. But it's just, yeah, Japan has a lot of cycling accidents. So this is why they have a very strict set of rules that for some reason do not apply to just wearing a helmet.
Okay, so they have a set of rules to counter the fact that people don't wear helmets, but none of which include forcing people to wear helmets.
Exactly. Oh, and also you can kind of ride on the pavements. Well, you can't, but most pavements here, especially in my city, are kind of a mix of cycle path and pavement. They don't have proper cycle paths, but the police are much better with you not cycling on the road. Though you sometimes legally are supposed to, but yeah, it's the rule that no one cares. Also,
the rules are more like guidelines anyway.
Yes, though except when you're a gaijin, you have to follow all the rules. Drunk bicycle riding is prohibited.
As makes sense, yes.
But very different with Japan compared to other countries is the fact that the drunk driving limit is 0. It's anything essentially above 0 or the total minimum. So
right.
you've had one drink, had dinner, had no, not allowed.
0 tolerance.
Exactly. Which for maybe a Japanese person might be okay. But if you're a gaijin, no. I don't drink regardless, so that doesn't really apply to me. But no drunk or even vaguely impaired bicycle riding at all.
So it's just walking or the trains for anyone who's had anything to drink.
Or throw them in a taxi.
Or throw them in a taxi, there's that too.
Number 2, I have this from a list of japaninfo.com. Thank you.
Hey.
Number 2, riding double on a bicycle is prohibited in Japan. And in Nagano, for some reason, tandem bicycles are allowed. Only the city of Nagano. There is nothing more that tells us why.
Oh, I was going to say, wait, does that prohibit tandem bikes as well? And you had the answer for me, which is only one, province of Japan allows tandem bicycles.
Yep. This is
right.
This is
okay.
It's understandable, but also no one follows this. No one follows this at all.
Who's going to enforce the no tandem bikes law?
Well, not the no tandem bikes laws, but people like 2 people jumping on a bike or whatever, especially tiny Japanese girls. You could probably fit about 3 of them on one.
Fair enough.
It is now number 3. It is definitely illegal where I am. It's prohibited to ride a bicycle whilst carrying an umbrella.
I mean, it's kind of difficult to do that in the first place, so.
But this is like compared to somewhere like the Netherlands, in which I have in which I have stories where I've seen a man both on his phone and hold a Christmas tree under the other hand whilst turning the bicycle with his knees.
That is very Dutch. Yes.
Yes.
That's a very Dutch story. I can confirm that's exactly what I'd expect a Dutch person to do.
Side note, both me and Thomas have lived in the Netherlands.
Gotta respect the Dutch and their amazing cycling ability.
Yeah, which just makes me intimidated. Yeah, but that's also why for lots of cycling, you see like the weird poncho that's in a lot of Japanese stuff that not only covers the person, it covers the bicycle as well. They're very strange. And I see loads of my students have them on their bicycles. And it's like, it almost looks like it's a bicycle ghost.
Yeah.
Because it covers all the sides of it. And then you can just see like their little face through a slit. And it's just like, what? Who killed these bicycles? And why are they coming after me on this rainy night? Also, it's a bicycle. It can get wet.
Yeah. The Irish have headless horsemen. The Japanese have ghost bikes.
The new Japanese reboot of Ghost Rider. Except he has water-based powers because he only appears when it rains.
He's still played by Nicolas Cage, though.
Of course. That goes without saying. Which actually, why Nicolas Cage does.
Oh, I'm so glad we picked this topic. Oh, yes.
America Karakimashita.
You know he'd make that movie. Pay him enough and he'll make it.
Moving on. Number 4, talking on the phone or listening to music whilst riding a bicycle is prohibited, which, once again, is understandable. But also, no one listens. Especially them damn teenagers always on their phones.
See, this is what happens when all your laws are polite requests.
Yeah.
It just makes fighting the power so much easier.
But also, it's Japanese teenagers.
Those rebellious youths.
Yeah, but they're all cycling down like with one hand on their phone. I'm just kind of like, this is quite a steep hill, and like this is a very thin path. And please look up, please.
Just waiting for the pile up of teenage cyclists.
Somehow, I haven't seen any proper bike accidents so far.
But there must be a lot of them because of all the bike ghosts around.
Yes, exactly. The big thing that apparently lots of policemen look out for is kids wearing Bluetooth headphones, because listening to music is not allowed. But also, it's concealing the headphone in there. There's even a small market for Bluetooth headphones to make them look like hearing aids. So, like, people can get around and listen to music, which one is extremely dangerous. Do not do that. You are driving. When you are a bicycle, you are driving a thing. Oh, God. Be able to hear stuff.
Yeah, it does help.
That freaks me out. A lot of the times, riding side by side is not permitted. So essentially on very thin paths, or you can't just ride about 4 people abreast on bicycles, smashing other old grandmas out the way.
What heresy? That's not how we do things.
Though it is actually a rule, it is the law that you can't travel side to side on bicycles. And that also freaks me out, because so many kids come down, like, I have to cycle up quite a tall hill to get to work, and there are kids going in the other direction to their school, and they just come down like 3 a breadth. And I'm like, please, I can't really do anything because I'm climbing a hill, and if I stop pedaling, I'll die. So
please move out the way.
Please, like, just pretty. You saw me a while ago. I'm the only one with blonde hair wearing a helmet. I'm not hard to spot. And also, final rule, don't bring your bicycle on the train unless it's a special foldy bicycle. Japan, though it has very low crime rates, as it does like to emphasize, it's very big on trying to make sure that people don't steal bikes. So it tries to emphasize yeah, you need to have a second lock. And everyone's like, yeah, second lock. But also, all your bikes have to be registered upon buying it. And every bike has a sticker on it with essentially the equivalent of a...
License plate?
Yes, that.
A license plate. There we go.
Every bike has a little sticker license plate. So if you find a bike, you know exactly who owns it and who is responsible for it. And then if you sell a bicycle to another person, you have to do several levels of paperwork and take a thing down to the police station to inform them that you have conveyed the bicycle to another person.
Bet that works out 100% of the time.
Yes, it does, totally. And I will say no more.
Mm.
Some of the Japanese bureaucracy is stuff like that is insane. But bicycling here is very fun and also rather nice. It's not that stressful. Japanese people, I'm getting a car very soon, hopefully.
Hey.
And then I'll be able to talk more about driving in Japan. Oh, by the way, I've just found out how much money you have to pay if you break any of those rules.
Oh boy, is it different for each rule, or are they all the same?
They're different for each rule.
Oh goody.
So if you are riding a bicycle with broken brakes, or you're just riding dangerously, maximum penalty 50,000 yen. That's about $450.
Ooh.
And or 3 months in prison.
Goodness me.
For drunk riders, you can get a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and a 1 million yen fine. That's around $9,000.
I think that might be a little excessive.
5 years. What you in for? I had a scotch and then I rode my bike.
Yeah, especially because that'll count for any level of inebriation.
Yeah. If you ride a bicycle while carrying an umbrella, you can face a fine of up to 50,000 yen. Again, about 500 quid. You can also get the same penalty if you ride whilst listening to music or talking on your phone. So that's about 400 quid. And then a 20,000 yen if you ride a bicycle with a passenger, though you are allowed children under 6.
Ah, thank goodness. Someone thought of the children.
Yeah, more ones. Side-to-side cycling has a 20,000 yen fine. So that's about $180, 150 quid. And a 50,000 yen fine for disobeying traffic lights, as you'd kind of hope. But yeah.
Well and good, but as you said before, most of the teenagers you see cycling around don't really adhere to these laws because they don't worry about actually being convicted with any of these.
Yeah, so. I live in quite a rural city, and it's the kind of thing if you're going to do this, you have to somehow implement it on everyone. And I'm in a small city where maybe a good third or half of the students cycle to school. You're going to have to enforce that on a lot of people.
See, police just don't bother in the first place then.
They do it, I assume, when it actually threatens stuff. But yeah. Nice Japanese police. What I've met of them, they seem very nice and very pleasant.
That's good.
Please don't kick me out. I don't think you could physically find a plane at the moment, but I'm not going to take that challenge.
I hear there's a very good boat parked off the coast.
Yes, there is one boat in all of Japan. Is this funny? No. And that's the entire podcast.
You're not wrong. Oh, well.
Finally, according to japaninfo.com, we should have fun, but we should go by the Japanese proverb of go ni ite wa go ni shitage.
Which means?
Go ni ite wa go ni shitage.
Thank you for your riveting insight, Sean.
It means entering the village, obey the village, which just kind of means...
Follow the rules.
Yeah, follow the rule. It's a kind of like a more rule-based when in Rome. When in Rome, follow the rules.
Hey, but whatever happens, happens. Am I right? Can't be helped.
Shogunai.
Just counter any police. He's good. Anytime a policeman comes up to arrest you for crimes, you just go, Shogunai. And he's like, God damn, you got me again, boys. Gotta let him go.
I'm not willing to test that out. However, there are some dangers to the cyclist in Japan. So much so that they have the nickname. Well, they have the nickname in my city. I'm not sure if it's a whole Japan thing. We call them Gaijin traps.
Nice. Okay,
No.
well.
Okay, no,
Carry
this is an entire thing around Japan. It is they have large water drains because Japan can get very heavy rains, especially during the
Yes.
summer. And they have large water drains that go down the sides of lots of roads. Sometimes they're covered, but sometimes they're not. And therefore, a cyclist, it is very easy by one sudden movement that you end up in the Gaijin trap. Look these up online. They are some very big, very deep drains. You see them a lot in Japanese anime and things. They're just large.
Gaijin trap. Fair enough. Yes. That's pretty serious.
Yeah, so
You don't want to be falling in that.
They're basically massive open drains in the road. And if you want to be a cyclist in Japan, watch out.
I mean, they seem fairly easy to spot at the very least.
Parts of them can be covered and parts of them aren't.
Yeah, it shows in the picture you showed me here that they've covered it so that people can get across it to park their cars and stuff.
And some of them aren't in the best of repair.
Yes, so don't ride on the covers unless you want to risk falling in.
Pretty much, though sometimes you have to, because, yeah. Now I need food to deal with this that is my
the
life.
Stress of cycling.
I know. What a world we live in. What a world.
What a world indeed. So, what do you have to eat today, John?
That snack break.
No nonsense this time. We're getting straight into it.
Yeah, this is a bourbon.
A what now?
It's a bourbon, but it's not a bourbon. It's not how I, as an Englishman, a British human being, believe a bourbon should be. A bourbon in the UK is a kind of chocolate biscuit with chocolate cream in the middle.
Yeah, it's two rectangular segments of biscuit with a sort of chocolate cream, keep cementing the two together. This is not that.
No, this is a wafer biscuit, with the English word bourbon printed on it, but it is a Rowan Uji-matcha bourbon, which is, it essentially seems to be a wafer biscuit with a kind of matcha, which is Japanese green tea, cream inside it. And it is just that you can find, of course, all my pictures on the Gaijin John, so keep you updated.
That's an Instagram account.
Instagram
the Gaijin John.
Instagram the Gaijin John. But we have, it is very wafery. It looks very nice, but it's, because a lot of Japanese, they seem to love wafers because a lot of Japanese food is about texture. But I think I'm just putting this off because it actually doesn't look that appetizing.
It's pretty plain. The printing on it's quite bold and nice, but it does look like it's just wafer, like ice cream cone wafer.
It does smell of matcha. It's got that good smell. So
hey, let's get going then.
Itadakimasu. Yep, it's a. Okay, this is a very sad layer of matcha cream.
Oh,
I was wanting much more than this. No, it's okay, but it only tastes slightly of matcha. I'm going to dunk it in my coffee, see if that makes it better. Though I think dunking is a very English thing, so
yeah,
maybe bringing the East and West together is what this needs. Okay, I'm in favor of the dunking because it makes the wafer slightly wet.
Yes,
which makes a mixture of textures and also gives the cream more flavor. So Japan, this is how you eat these wafers. You got to dunk them.
We've decided now for you that you have to dunk your bourbons. Which, to be fair, is a very English approach because you should dunk your English bourbons as well.
Dunking makes everything better. But no, that's actually all right. And I somehow now even have cream all over my hand. Matcha is very fluorescent green and it gets everywhere. I'm pretty sure you would eat these with tea regardless. You eat matcha flavored stuff usually with matcha or something. So
Doubling down on the flavour. Interesting.
yeah, no, I'd give that a good.
Although, to be fair, I eat chocolate biscuits with hot chocolate, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, Thomas, how dare you? How dare you? But yeah, that's a matcha out of 10. Yay.
Nice.
Cha-cha-cha.
Cha-cha-cha, indeed. Cha-cha, real smooth. Talking about fluorescent green things.
Yeah, we have Midoriya Izuku. Who's somewhat... Yeah, we have My Hero Academia and Green Naruto.
Hey, boys. John's finally caught up.
Yay! It's the most popular anime in the world right now, and I finally was able to watch it. Also, little fun fact, it's quite cute that if you watch the English dub, because of the coronavirus lockdown in the US, that they've been working with the voice actors to record their lines for the final episodes of the dub at home.
Nice.
Which I think was really cute and really well done. And they're like,
yeah,
please hold us with us, guys. This is difficult and we're trying to get everything right. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. I don't watch the dub, but other than that, the only thing I will say is the All Might, because I will say that for a lot of the dub voices, they all sound about 25. Though I will say the dub voice for All Might is spot on.
That's Chris Sabat, isn't it?
I think it is. He's also the voice for Thor as well in all the animated Marvel stuff.
I don't think that's what he's most well known for, but yes. The dub industry has been hit pretty hard by the whole that shall not be named scenario, because everyone's obviously had to stay at home and not been able to go into their recording studios. And most dubs wait for the official Japanese release to be out before really doing most of the work on them. It's you have to work with a very short timetable.
Yes, but lots of them are now more simulcast as well.
Yes, there are more of those coming out.
They're releasing at the same time. Yes, it is Chris Sabat.
So yeah, but there have been some studios who've been able to find workarounds for not having their voice actors in the studios, and that's been good.
Yeah, to be honest, as someone who knows quite a lot about voice acting and general voice stuff and who's interested in that kind of industry, you'd be surprised how not easy it is, but how high a level of project would be that would have people recording from home studios and stuff.
It's going to be interesting to see if it has any lasting impact on how voice acting is done in general for the industry. Because if more voice actors can do it from home, that makes it more accessible for a larger group of people.
Yes, I think mostly it's just lots of it works quite well for low budget things because you don't have to get everyone in the same recording studio. There's going to be nothing, especially for something big, there's going to be nothing like getting people in the same room so they can rehearse together and so they can feel out how the other people are going to go against it, how other people are going to react and how they can work off each other. Whereas I think it's still quite good. It's interesting. Anyway, My Hero Academia.
Would you like to give us the breakdown on what season 4 of My Hero Academia is all about, John?
So basically, everyone, it's for people who don't know, it's Hogwarts for superheroes, and we have Deku, who has decided he can kick things now, and has met the big three. The big three being their senpais, the Sannensei, the third years, and you have Mirio, who the fan base has called Tintin because he looks like Tintin, and also two other people who are not as important in the plot.
But equally as important in our hearts.
Yes, especially Sunita, because he actually gets some character development. So essentially, there's an evil person erasing people's quirks, erasing people's superpowers, and they're trying to track him down. And that happens. You never really went into My Hero Academia for the overarching plot.
That's an overarching plot to My Hero Academia.
Yeah, superheroes, all for one. And one for all.
Ah, yes. that whole shebang. Can't quite tell if that's supposed to be the plot or whether it's like coinciding with the plot or what exactly is going on. But oh
Mostly, it's
boy, are things going on.
mostly it's the fact that the main hero, All Might, has basically been forcibly retired, so it's essentially living in a post All Might world. We're in PAM, post All Might.
Yes, we are 1 PAM.
1 PAM. Though I will say it's like the bloody Star Wars. As being a massive Star Wars nerd, if you look up any of the dates that they have, all the dates in Star Wars, or at least before the Disney reboot, are based in post the Battle of Yavin, post BAY, which is when the first Death Star is blown up.
Yeah.
Which is just such a dumb thing to have a year order by.
Yeah, it works better for fans because they're not as familiar with like the whole timeline, but that's not how it works. Working out,
No,
it
it's
would be like us basing our years on like the fall of the Berlin Wall or something like that.
yeah, sure, why not? Why not? Essentially, it's the characters as always are great. There's a decent villain this time. He's I go up and down. I go up and down on whether I like Overhaul, who's the villain this season. And generally, they get like a lot of fun. There's a lot more fun focused character development on a couple of the main characters, which works quite well. And it works well on developing more of the story of the series and just generally doing some nice school stuff. But also, I don't know, it doesn't, a lot of it in the nicest way doesn't feel that relevant.
It does feel like it missed some of the impact of the final episodes of season 3 that really sold the whole season.
But that is also because season 3 is so, like, the end of season 3 is amazing. And season 3 is the kind of thing that you watched the 50, 60 episodes beforehand for the end of season 3, and you go, it was totally worth it.
You've got to try and figure out, because each season has its major event that really pulls you into it. Because I think the first season's major things are the entrance exam where Deku first has his powers, and then the League of Villains attack on UA at the end.
Yeah.
And then season 2 has obviously the tournament arc at the end of the
you've got the sports day tournament,
the sports festival, and then is the attack
and
on
then
the.
You've got Stain. You've got the Stain fight.
Oh no, it's Stain fight.
Then season 3 is Forest, and then rescuing Bakugo.
And then the Bakugo versus Izuku fight at the end of the season as well.
Yeah.
And then season 4 doesn't quite have the same thing going for it. Its major fight happens at the midpoint of the season.
Yeah.
Because we wrap up the Overhaul arc halfway through and then move on to the school festival arc, which is really nice. But the big payoff for that isn't a fight. It's a big celebration.
Yeah, and it has nice. It has a very it's a cool music video which you can watch on YouTube right now, which is great. It's called "I'll Be Your Hero," and it's a great song. And I will say, like, the songs, as always, the music's always on point, the animation's always on point. Some of the writing and like, as I say, the overarching story doesn't feel like much, but the character writing is where it always shines. And God, do you love God, do I love the characters. I love the main character. They are so... I'm talking about the main protagonists here. The main protagonists are so good at being relatable and just having a reason to be doing what they're doing and to face change and then overcome it as well and search within themselves and work with other people as well. It's great. What it does fall apart in usually is the villains, because the main one, they just tend to be quite underdeveloped, because you either have the one-off henchmen who have, what is their quirk for the one fight, what is their superpower, oh, they have a cool superpower. And then we forgot a lot of season 3 was the professional is getting your license. It's getting their license to be superheroes.
Yeah, I think it is the fact that a lot of the villains do get underdeveloped. Even the main villains of Shigaraki and the League of Villains as a whole don't actually have an awful lot of detail put into their characterization. They just have the benefit of being a constant presence, whereas most villains are defeated pretty shortly after the introduction.
And they also have the thing of, oh, darn, I hate you, All Might. I'll get you next time.
Yeah, there was something interesting about Overhaul in that he did differ quite significantly from the traditional approach to villainy.
Yeah, so
that
Overhaul
the show's done so far.
So Overhaul is one of the main characters' dads, if you've watched it, who also...
That's Endeavor, yeah.
Basically is a domestic abuser and not a nice guy, but is also now the number one hero after All Might is retired. So it's basically a lot of it's just started in the anime, but there's things of him trying to change, and basically lots of things which...
That's Endeavor, yeah.
Yeah, Endeavor, but also still being a bit of a dick. So this is the thing, the heroes, in inverted commas, like his job is that of being a hero, his actions are anything but, are quite well developed, and they go into quite a lot of shades of grey. Whereas the villains just kind of go, I'm evil, or I want to destroy everything, or I want to be famous, or apparently I have not read the manga, so this is all anime stuff, but rumors online, which is stuff from the manga, that there'll be lots more development for especially the main villain, Shigaraki, in the next season, which I'm looking forward to, because so many of the villains don't really get enough time. They have one message. They're like, I'm Stain. I think superheroes should be better than they are. Therefore, I should kill all the ones. To be honest, Stain is probably the best developed villain that isn't one of the main ones.
Stain does pretty well with what little time he was given, which is strange because Overhaul also had a lot of time put into his backstory and stuff. It just didn't really click for me.
It's also because it was supposed to be like a sudden reveal. I actually want to get rid of all quirks. And rewind everyone back to a time before stuff. And you're like, okay. And
I think it might have just been a bit big picture and didn't really work out for the more character-focused stories that really work well in My Hero.
And then you have Gentle Criminal, who is just a bit more, but Deku, I am you. He's this kind of criminal who just wants to be villain who just wants to be famous. But he's actually he's just a failed hero.
See, yeah, that's the thing. I thought Gentle Criminal's story worked better because it was just more focused on him and one other character rather than trying to change all of the whole country of Japan overnight.
No, exactly. And I think that's where it works best. Hopefully it gets better. I don't know. I haven't read the manga. But no, it's such a great series. I enjoy it so much. But it's...
I think overall I did enjoy the second half of this season more, just because the whole high school gimmick is the appeal of the show, really.
Yeah.
And so seeing the characters I've spent 3 seasons with just doing their thing is actually more engaging than this big sort of superhero war going on in the first half, which seems counterproductive.
It takes so much time and it focuses on so few characters.
It is very spread out, and I think some of it did suffer because they were also producing the movie at the same time, which limited the animation they could put into it, which also seems counterproductive because it's definitely the half of the season that needed better animation overall. I like Gentle Criminal's fights, but they didn't need as much as, say, Mirio's fight could have done with.
Yeah.
Not that that's one or the other thing. It's just, it's complicated.
No. But generally, looking forward to season 5. I still haven't seen the second movie yet. I'll have a go on that. But no, if you have thoughts on My Hero Aka and our things, please send us. Send us messages. If there's anything like My Hero Acca, like comment below, put a review, or even you can send us an email at geeks&gaijins. That's the word and at gmail.com. We love it's such a fun series. And I recommend it. It makes me feel happy when I feel sad, which I feel like the world needs more of right now. You just gotta have that hope, Thomas.
It's all about that hope.
Otherwise, you'll fall to despair. And speaking of despair, we do Twitch streams. We are currently streaming every Tuesday and once every weekend.
Yeah, we try and do Saturday because it works better with John's scheduling, but we might do Sundays instead.
And it's usually about 8. It's usually at about 7 or 8 p.m. Japan time, which means it's about midday UK time, which means it's about 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning US time. But you're in lockdown. What else are you going to do?
I mean, sleep is the answer. Stay in bed.
Then watch the VODs after the streams happened. Yeah, on twitch.tv/Geeks&Gaijins. We also have a Facebook. Like us there. Keep updated. Twitter, all the things. Spotify, iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review saying you love us so much.
Yes, please. We're currently streaming Danganronpa 1 and maybe some more My Heroes 1 Justice 2.
What a name game.
What a title. Oh, it just rolls off the tongue. Yeah, it's the My Hero Academia fighting game.
Yeah.
It seems to be following the story of Season 3.
Yeah,
4.
Season 4. Yeah, it is the end of Season 3, beginning of Season 4. Yay! So do you have anything else to tell the people at home, Thomas?
I just hope you're all doing well. Hope you're finding something to keep you either busy or distracted. And that hopefully everyone's just keeping healthy, keeping happy.
Yep. Pay attention to our social media things because we'll just post like fun stuff and things during the time. Because, well, I don't have time at the moment. I might have time in the future. Who knows? Thomas should have time, but...
Yes, I really should.
And on that, I think it's time to end. Thank you so much for listening, guys. We'll be back next week as always, every Wednesday. We do also the history podcast comes out on Tuesday, so have a listen to that. Should be just before this. Yeah.
What's this week's episode about, John?
This week's episode is about poetry. Because I'm a nerd.
All right.
Thomas, have you ever wanted your entire job and your entire livelihood based on how good you are at poetry?
God, no. That sounds terrible.
Then don't travel back 1,000 years to Heian, Japan.
I'll keep that in mind. If I ever have the opportunity to travel back in time, I'll specifically avoid Heian, Japan, and probably most other places as well. The past kind of sucked.
Yay! Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.